Welcome to the Daily Blaze. Today we are talking about cutting, fucking slicing with a samurai sword, the ties, the attachments to everything, really, all the attachments we have. Let's take a very Buddhist perspective here and free ourselves of these attachments, because these attachments are what's imprisoning us, metaphorically, but it's way more tangible than you might think. Let me explain. So by attachments, let's define that as things we hold on to because we're grasping. We really want things to be a certain way, so we hold on to it tightly. We grasp at it. Now the thing is, how many hands do we have? We only have 2 hands. So the harder we grasp, the more we use both hands to really hold on to something. That's when the trouble starts, because when our hands are occupied holding on to one thing, then they're not freed up to receive something else over here. So to free up our hands to receive good, to receive abundance, to receive everything we want, our hands have to be free. They can't be tied up holding on to something. So we gotta cut those attachments, guys. We gotta free ourselves of these attachments so that we're free and open to receive more, receive good. Our channels are closed. Our mailbox is full. Can't take any more messages. We have to cut the attachments so we can be open to receive more, receive good in our lives. How do we cut these attachments? You gotta get over your fears. And you gotta get over your fears by facing them. That's the number one way to do it. The fear of death. The fear of death, one of the top 2 fears humans have in life. The other one is the fear of public speaking, which sometimes comes number 1, even before death. But the fear of death, top 2 fears. And it's the last hurdle. The fear of death is the last hurdle to overcome when you're freeing yourself of attachments. It's the last attachment because it's the biggest attachment. For most people, it's the last attachment. But once they could leap that hurdle, free themselves, cut that attachment, free themselves from the fear of death, no longer fear it anymore. It doesn't have any hold over me. Once you do that, the power that comes to you is massive, because without attachments, you're free, you're not in prison, you can do whatever you want. You run the show, you run your life. It's not running you. These attachments, these fears are not running you. You are free to create, free to receive, free to go out and make whatever you want happen. You're not hindered by these prison bars of attachments. You slice through those prison bars. You're free of that shit, man. The importance of this is magnificent. It's huge, it's fucking colossal. Freeing yourself of attachments. Attachments are like background programs that are running, that are taking up the space on your computer, your hard drive. For example, I use Windows operating system. I hit Control-Alt-Delete on my Windows computer. It comes up options. You click on Task Manager. Task Manager is one of the options, and what that does, it lists the programs that are currently running and how much disk space they're using. What percent of the 100% of disk space you have available, what percent of that is used up by each one of these programs that's running? When you have a fear, an attachment, like the fear of death is a big one for a lot of people, you have that fear of death program running in the background. It's taking up at least 1%, 2%, 3%, who knows how many percent of CPU, of processing power, of disk space. And it's a drain, a leak in your energy, constantly leaking out because it's going to that fear of death. So what happens when you slice that attachment to that fear of death? That goes away. Your disk space is freed up. You have more power, more raw energy to use, resources, mental, emotional resources, faculties to use. And all your decisions aren't based in that foundation of fear, that underlying constantly running program of the fear of death. Your decisions aren't based on that anymore. So what had previously negatively colored and clouded your decisions is now gone. You're freed up. Your decision-making power is back at full strength. So once you can free yourselves of attachments, guys, then things really become exciting, because then you're fucking running the show. So moral of the story, lesson of the episode here is cut those attachments, slice through them with a samurai sword. You do that by facing your fears, by confronting them head on. Face the fear. What's the worst that can happen? Once you let go, once you face that fear, you realize it's not so bad. It goes from the big scary dragon it is down to the cute little pipsqueak mouse that you realize is harmless. It was a mouse all along, but you had blown it up in your mind to be this big scary dragon. Now that you've faced it, you've gotten stronger, you've gotten freer, you've cut that tie, cut that attachment, freed yourself of it, and you're ready to bask in the peace of mind and the power, personal power, real power, not power over others, but power over your own state. You can control it. It can be whatever state you want, mental, emotional, happy, sad, mad, glad, you choose. That's power, and you will have that when you slice those attachments. Keep blazing it up, Trailblazer Mindset. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.